Your leadership is never going to outgrow your learning. You need to choose the posture of humility, of learning that you don't know everything, and that there is people out there that have experience that are going to add value to you. Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey everybody, welcome back to the It Matters podcast. I am Walter Perez, your host, and I appreciate you joining me on another episode. I'm excited today because I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is reading. Now, I know you can see me if you're watching this on video that I'm sitting in front of a few bookshelves with a bunch of books, and yes, these are books that I've read, books that I'm going to read, and I just love to invest in reading because I think it matters. And so back, if you've been following me for a little while, back in episode 43, I believe, I did an episode called Leaders Are Readers. And that's because I stand behind that. I think if you're a leader, I think if you're a human, I think if you're a person that is out in the world trying to make a difference, that you need to be a reader. And so I want to encourage you to go check out that episode if you haven't. But I want to come back to this topic because I really do believe that what you read matters. It's not just about being a reader, but what you're reading and what you're actually feeding your mind. What you feed your mind is going to play a bigger role than you could ever imagine. And as a leader, as a person that wants to make an impact, I have to encourage you that if you want to live well, if you want to lead well, you have to consider that how you think matters. How you communicate is going to matter. How you relate to other people really does matter. If you're growing or not matters, and how you're living your life matters. And so today I thought, okay, well, there's probably so many books that I could recommend and that I can highlight because I have so many favorites. So what I thought that I would do today is share with you 5 different genres. 5 different genres, and pick a book in those genres to talk about today. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to recommend it and I'm going to highlight it and tell you you need to read those. And I've been wanting to do this episode for a long time, and so I'm excited that I get to do this so I can actually share with you some of the books that have not only impacted my life but changed my life and have really shaped who I am and my leadership. And so I need you to remember that your leadership is never going to outgrow your learning. You need to choose the posture of humility, of learning that you don't know everything, and that there is people out there that have experience that are going to add value to you. And so that's the angle that I come at it from. And so that's why I want to encourage not only for you to be a reader, but also consider some of these books that I'm going to share. And I just want to get right into it. And so the first genre is leadership. Surprise, surprise. Leadership is definitely one of my passions, one of the areas that I think is ultra important. And so I could not do this episode without actually talking about that. And so I wanted to introduce this book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. Now, if you've never read this book, ever heard of it, I want to encourage you to go check it out. It is a must read. It has impacted my life. It has given me the not only encouragement, the inspiration to know that I can lead, but actually understand others and myself in this world of leadership. And so I wanted to highlight a few things that you're going to find in this book, why I think it's important. Okay, here we go. One is the law of the lid. Super important. Your leadership ability determines your level of effectiveness. Leadership matters, right? The law of influence. Leadership equals influence. Got it? I've talked about that many times. Nothing more, nothing less. This is something we need to grasp and understand, and John Maxwell does an amazing job of going into that. He also talks about the law of process. Check this out. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. Some of us, we need to realize that we're on a journey, and we're not just going to, get results today because we started reading today. No, it's going to be over a period of time, but we have to commit to it. And what about the law of buy-in? People buy into the leader before the vision. People are watching you. People are studying you. People want to know if they can trust you. And so this book is going to be an amazing, amazing tool, an amazing resource for you if you want to become a better leader. And there's many other leadership books, 100%. But I think this one has to be one of the books that you must read if you haven't read. So I ask you today, okay? I want you to think about it as I recommend this book. Where are you currently in your level of impact? Are you satisfied with that or not? Maybe you should read this book then, right? Regardless of what your answer was in that. Are you committed to daily growth? Is that something that you've thought about? Are you becoming, or are you focusing on becoming someone that people can trust? Are you wanting to be that person that people want to follow? And so if that is your desire, if that's part of your vision, I want you to pick up this book because you will improve on your leadership and you will lead better because of it. And so you got to read it at least once, if not multiple times over the years, because there are so many great principles and practical things you can apply. And it is, I believe, timeless. So go check that out. So first genre was leadership. The second one that I want to talk about is the genre of communication. Man, communication plays a bigger role than we realize. And I think sometimes we just expect to kind of float through life and go, okay, well, people should understand me. People should get me. But if you want to be a person that grows and improves themselves and is a leader, you got to realize that it is your responsibility not only to communicate, but actually to be understood. And sometimes we have to be the mature ones and the ones that are growing and adding value and tweaking along the way on learning how to communicate. So I wanted to bring a book to you that I think is a must read, and that is The 7 Frequencies of Communication by Erwin McManus. Now, again, there could have been other books that I could recommend, but I want you to start somewhere. This one actually allows you to do an assessment as well that allows you to find your frequency. So this is the idea behind what Erwin McManus wanted to share with us and what what he wants us to glean off of this. He communicates 7 frequencies to us: the motivator, the challenger, the commander, the healer, the professor, the seer, and the maven. Okay, some of you might have just heard me and say, what are those? Well, you got to go pick up the book because he does an amazing job of not only describing it, explaining it to us, and encouraging us on why these frequencies do matter. And so basically what Erwin McManus is trying to tell us is that we actually function and operate on 1 or 2 of these frequencies. There's 2 frequencies that are more dominant in our lives. And these frequencies shape how not only we lead, how we relate, how we decide, how we even see ourselves. And so if we understand these frequencies, not only are we going to have a clear picture of who we are, but we get to understand other people, and we also get to figure out how to communicate depending on the season and depending on the stages that we're on. Wherever we're at, we get to learn that frequencies do matter, and we actually get to realize a little bit deeper on how people might be hearing us, how people are actually taking what we're saying. And so I want to tell you that book is going to be a must read, not only for the assessment that will add so much value, but actually figuring out these 7 different frequencies and understanding where you actually stand in all of that. See, your words do matter. And yes, it's not just about what you're saying, but how you're saying it. And in this book, Erwin McManus is just going to polish it up so nicely for us and understanding that there is frequencies and that does matter. All right, go check that book out and let me know what you think. Okay, the next genre, we're going to talk about relationships. Now, regardless of where you're at, okay, whether you're dating, whether you're married, single, just have friendships, people person, not people person, I wanted to recommend a book that is going to apply to all of you. And that is this book called Boundaries. Boundaries is by Dr. Henry Cloud, and it's a must read as well. Because as people, we have relationships. that are good, that are bad, that are tough, that are ugly. They're just challenging all over the place. And so we need to learn how to have healthy boundaries. And so this book, I just recommend not only for any leader, but any person, any human being that wants to learn how to be better relationally and how to adapt, how to change, how to actually live in tension. And Dr. Henry Cloud does an amazing job with this book. It's one that I've recommended for years. I think it's one that you should read more than once and one that you can go back to and just really dissect. Because healthy leaders need to learn how to maneuver through relationships, how to do it not only well, but wisely. And so I'll just to highlight some thoughts here that this book will cover for you. Boundaries define what's yours to own and what isn't. That's huge. That's huge. And I love that he walks us through that. You're responsible to people, not for people. Maybe that's a little bit of a different thing, or maybe you know that, but you don't know how to actually process that. He's going to help you. Saying yes to everything eventually means saying no to yourself. So sometimes we just need to pause and realize that being a yes person is not actually the right way to go about things. Love without limits leads to burnout, resentment, and control. And so he's going to really dissect that a little bit and cover and help us understand how we can be healthy in relationships. See, and this is a thought and idea that I think this book really encompasses, and that is that leaders burn out not because they give too much, but because they give without boundaries. Boundaries is a healthy way of living life, and it is definitely a must thing that we need to not only adjust and adapt to. And so this book, I think, is going to give you some great insight. Grab it, check it out. If you need more understanding, regardless of whatever relationship challenge you might be going through, it's going to help you identify many things, and it will help you. I promise you on that. It's a good read. And it's going to help you not live in guilt or shame when you're dealing with tough relationships. It's going to help you identify, if you're over functioning in certain areas of your life when it comes to relationships. And it's definitely going to help you understand and separate what the difference between compassion and responsibility actually do look like. And so grab that book so you can actually become emotionally healthy and you can help your life in this matter, and you'll be able to lead better and lead well also. All right. The next area of genre that I wanted to cover is personal growth, personal development, we can call it as well. I am an advocate when it comes to talking about personal development because growing matters. And if we don't grow, I've said it before, we are either decaying, we're dying, we're rotting away. And so we need to grow, and personal development is different than professional development. It is different than career development, and personal growth is a must. And now I have tons of books that I could talk about and recommend, but there is one book that comes to the top of the list when it comes to personal growth and development, and that is this timeless book, one that's been around forever, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that is by Dale Carnegie himself. This book, I know so many leaders have read it. I knew somebody who read it at least once a year because they found it that important. We get to learn about people. We get to actually figure out how to win hearts, how to influence people, which is part of leadership. But regardless of whether you're in an official leadership role or not, if you're a human being, we need to learn how to communicate, how to connect with people. And this book is one of those books that is going to be of value to you. And it's timeless also. And so I want you to think, the big idea in this book is that leadership grows through people, not control. Okay, this is what I want to share with you, especially as leaders. And some key highlights that you should consider when you're going to read this book is become genuinely interested in others. How are you when it comes to actually being honestly and interested in other people, not just being fake about it? Maybe we're going to learn in this book how to not criticize, condemn, and complain. I think that's huge, especially it'll take us out of that negative posture. How to give honest and appreciate and sincere appreciation. We want to appreciate people. We want to be sincere about that. We want to make people feel important. And we want to do that sincerely as well. We want to listen more than we talk. And this book really lays out not only principles, but practical things that we can work on that will make us better. And it's such an easy read, but easy to comprehend. We just have to stick with it and realize, okay, I can apply this. I can be better. I can be good at this. And this book is actually going to lay it out for you. And so it is a must read. It must be in your library. It must be on your reading list if you haven't read it. And if you have, maybe it's been a little while, maybe it's time to pick it up again. All right? We want to ask better questions. We want to give better answers. We want to give better feedback. We want to replace correction with curiosity. We want to make affirmations and create better disciplines in our lives through that. And so this book is going to help that. And so remember that people do matter and people are important, and we get to play a role on how we get to interact with people, and how we see ourselves in that is going to play a huge role. You're going to see that these genres overlap and interact because it all matters. And so learning how to win friends and influence people, it is about others, but it actually allows us to look inwardly on how we perceive that and how we react to people, how we see our own insecurities and how we see our wins and our failures and all that. And so this book is going to help us frame that better so we can grow, and then we practice it by how we connect and relate to other people. So I want you to check out that, because the more that your influence grows and the more you're confident, you realize that it's about other people, you're not going to live in this prideful or egotistic posture. You're actually going to realize that the more you grow, the more value you can add to people and the more you want to serve them. Okay, so how to win friends and influence people is going to be an important book to read. That's our fourth genre that I wanted to cover. And our fifth one is health. And that is a book that I think I want to recommend, that I think is going to impact your life, and that is The Power of Ownership by Justin Rothling Schofer. And this is a man that I not only know, but I've also attended some of his retreats, and I know his heart, I know what he's about, and that's why I feel super comfortable in sharing this book, because it's going to give you some great practical steps to get your health in order. Your health matters. How you live your life, how you see your body, how you're treating your body matters in all aspects. It's going to affect your leadership. It's going to affect your communication. It's going to affect your personal growth, your relationship. It matters. And that's why I wanted to bring this genre, even though there's probably other topics that I could bring forth to you. Health does matter. And so I want you to think about this. And you don't rise to your goals, you fail to your habits and biology. So if things are not going well in your body, if habits are out of line, if your disciplines and your rhythms are not in place, you will fall back to that, because it can be tough to get new disciplines in, but it's not impossible. And so I want to highlight some things that you're going to hear from this book, okay? Ownership means taking responsibility for your mind, for your body, your rhythms, and your recovery. That's ultra important in this game of life. Health isn't aesthetic, it is strategic. We need to actually have strategy on how we're going to be healthy humans. Health is going to be ultra important. We need to just put it on the top of the list, that we realize if we want to have longevity in this game, if we want to live long, if we want to do things and we want to actually not be burnt out, health is going to be at the top of the list. We need to learn how to energy management, not just time management. Energy is a huge part of what allows us to do things and actually be effective. And too many times we actually don't put any importance to that. We don't even focus on that. Your leadership stamina, like how you lead, is tied to your physical system. If you want longevity in this game, as I said, if you actually don't want to burn out, if you want to be a great leader, well, you're going to have to take care of yourself. You actually have to prioritize yourself, and that's important. And you're going to lead better, and you're going to be better. You're going to live well. You're going to lead well, and that actually is going to help you accomplish your vision, your purpose, and your dreams. So you're going to have an opportunity in this book to audit your sleep, your hydration, your movement, your stress. Love this book. It really brings a lot of insight and clarity into all that area. It's going to stop you from glorifying exhaustion. Living your life in exhaustion and tiredness is not a proud pin to wear. There's actually a better way to do it. And you're going to be able to build recovery into your life and into your leadership so that you can actually do it properly, do it well. And so I want to encourage this book 100%, because all of us, I think, we need to actually understand that our health does matter, and it's going to play a humongous role in our calling, in our purpose, in our passions, in our potential. And if we pay attention to that, we will do better. So those are the 5 genres that I wanted to bring to you, because in all of this, if you're going to be a reader, if you're going to be a leader, you need to be a reader. And if you're going to read, you need to actually find books that matter and books that actually impact you and make a difference in your life. And so I wanted to help you in that area. Like I said, I could recommend tons of books, as you can see behind me, but these genres would be a great beginning as we talk about leadership, as we talk about communication, we talk about relationships, personal growth, and health. They all matter. And so I wanted to bring that, because if we learn how to prioritize these areas, I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to be a better leader and a better human, and actually create impact, add value, and actually be someone that has influence, great influence, positive influence, that actually changes the world and transforms it. And so the best leaders don't just work on what they do, they work on who they are. And so that's what I really want you to grab from this. All of this matters because it helps you become not only a better person, but you're working on who you are, not just on what you're doing. So I hope this episode brings value to you. My heart is that I want to, as I've said before on this podcast, I want to help you not only live, but I want you to lead well also. And all that matters. And so take that, share it with somebody, add value to somebody, go put this into practice. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you on the next episode. And like always, we'll live and lead well. Bye for now.